The hunt isn't a myth. It's the one night when every Omega learns what it means to be chased, and every Alpha learns what kind of monster he truly is. Tonight the forest will choose who runs and who doesn't come back. She thought she was a healer. He thought he was in control. But when her scent hits the air, the game changes, and mercy doesn't exist anymore. If your pulse already knows what's coming, stay with us. Like, subscribe, and send hypes. Your support keeps our stories breathing. Step deeper into the shadows, and don't look back when the Alpha starts to hunt. The drums begin before the sun even sets. A slow, thunderous rhythm that rolls through the valley, shaking the bones of every Omega that dares to breathe. Alara stands among them, small, dust on her hands, her pulse trapped in her throat. The square is full of torches, their flames bending toward the great stage where the council waits. Above them, the moon bleeds through the clouds, red, swollen, and watching. When the High Warden speaks, silence cuts the air like glass. The hunt begins at dusk. The chosen will run before the northern moon peaks. Names are drawn. Omegas cry, some collapse, some stare ahead, hollow. Then a final scroll is unrolled, sealed in black wax. The High Warden hesitates before reading it. Alara of the Hollow Glen. The crowd shifts. Even the torches seem to flicker lower. Her heart stutters once, then again. From the shadows near the dais, Aris watches. Every Alpha around him wears the same expression, hunger masked as tradition. But not him. His jaw tightens. The muscle in his neck jumps. His eyes don't blink. When Alara steps forward, he feels it, the pull that should not exist, a bond unsummoned, a scent that does not belong to the game. She kneels, her voice soft as wind. I accept the will of the council. The lie tastes like iron on her tongue. The warden marks her wrist with crimson ash, the signal of the hunted. Aris's breath catches, low and dangerous. The moonlight spills across her throat, and for a heartbeat, he imagines what that mark would look like if it were his. When she rises, the noise returns. Cheering, laughter, bets whispered into the night. She can't see him, but she feels him. A presence steady and silent at the edge of the chaos, watching her, claiming her without a word. Their eyes meet once, and that single glance steals every sound from her world. His stare feels like a storm pressing against her skin. Hot, unseen, deliberate. It drags across her without movement, burns through every layer of modesty until she forgets how to breathe. The council's bell tolls. The hunt has begun. The crowd roars again, but Alara hears only one voice in her head, deep, quiet, threaded with something dark. Run, little mate. Let's see how long you last. She doesn't know it yet, but Mercy died the moment his eyes found her. The night drips with silence, broken only by the scrape of boots on stone. Alara stands in the center of the glass cage, pale moonlight pooling around her feet, breath fogging faintly against the cold barrier. She isn't alone. The chamber holds 6 Alphas, each chosen by the council to inspect the tributes before the hunt. Their scent coils thickly in the air, sharp, heavy, meant to remind her what she is, prey dressed in ceremony. They circle. One drags a clawed fingertip along the glass, slow enough to make her flinch. Another leans close, his breath fogging a small circle near her face. She smells unbroken, he murmurs. Clean, fresh. Laughter hums through the room, low, male, cruel. Alara keeps her chin high. She knows what happens to Omegas who show fear. They become entertainment before the hunt even begins. So she locks her gaze on the far end of the hall where shadows move like smoke. Aris stands there, silent, arms folded, expression unreadable. He's been motionless since the cage was rolled in, eyes fixed on her as if he's memorizing her pulse from afar. When one of the younger Alphas steps forward, hand raised to test the merchandise, Aris's composure fractures. His voice cuts the air. Low, dangerous, not loud but heavy enough to still every breath in the room. Don't touch her. The words crawl across the glass, vibrating like thunder in a confined space. The Alpha freezes. Aris moves closer. Not fast, deliberate, measured steps that sound like warning drums. His shadow spills over the cage, his gaze locked on Ilara's. Her lips part, breath quickening against the barrier. The glass begins to mist where her breath meets his, then spreads outward, a veil of fog separating them from the others. Say her name, Alpha, the High Warden mocks from the corner. You seem intrigued. Aris's eyes don't leave hers. Ilara. The single word is a confession, raw, dangerous, unguarded. The fog thickens, as if the glass itself responds to the heat in his tone. Inside the cage, Ilara's knees weaken. His voice lingers on her skin long after the sound fades, winding through her chest like heat-seeking air. Her body doesn't understand the language, but her instincts do. She shouldn't want this. She shouldn't want him. But his stare burns through every commandment she's been raised with. The council watches in silence, knowing something irreversible has shifted. When the inspection ends, she's led away, wrists bound in silver thread. But as the guards drag her past him, she feels it, his restraint trembling under his skin like a leash about to snap. Her voice trembles only once. Why me? He leans close, enough that his breath brushes her ear through the veil of fog. Because you ran before I ever told you to. Her pulse stutters. His eyes flicker gold. And for the first time, the word hunt doesn't sound like tradition. It sounds like obsession wearing patience. The horn tears through the night, one long, merciless sound that makes every Omega flinch, then silence, then chaos. The forest devours them all. Bare feet slap against cold mud, fabric tears, breath catches, the trees lean in, listening. Ilara runs, not fast enough to escape, only fast enough to keep hope alive a little longer. The scent of pine and damp earth fills her lungs, thick with fear and sweat. Her pulse is so loud it feels like footsteps behind her, until she realizes it's not just her pulse anymore. He's there, somewhere behind her, steady, unhurried. Each step he takes sounds deliberate, a rhythm that matches hers, teasing, mocking, promising she'll never truly get away. Her body aches, her ankle twists in the roots. Still, she runs. A branch whips across her cheek. The sting clears her head. She glances back once and sees nothing but the faint glint of eyes reflecting moonlight. The Alpha doesn't need to rush. He's not hunting for hunger. He's hunting to understand her. She stumbles into a clearing, gasping, pressing her hand against a tree for balance. The bark is rough, cool against her burning skin. For a moment, she allows herself to believe she's alone. Then the wind shifts. The forest exhales his scent. Run, little mate. His voice isn't loud. It's everywhere. In the leaves, in her spine. She bolts. The chase turns primal. Her dress catches on branches. She doesn't stop to fix it. The ground tilts, her breath breaking into ragged bursts. Every time she thinks she's gained distance, she hears him. Closer, deliberate, letting her hear him. A low growl rolls through the trees, not animal, not human. The sound shatters her courage, and then silence. No footsteps, no breath, only her heartbeat pounding in her throat. She turns slowly. He's already there. Aris steps from the shadows, calm, composed, the predator who never sweats. The moon spills silver across his skin, outlining strength and restraint at war. Her back hits the tree before she realizes she's moving. His hand lands beside her head, fingers pressed into bark. Not touching. Close enough to burn. She can't look away. His eyes aren't the color of rage. They're the color of conflict, golden and stormed over with guilt. You shouldn't make me want mercy, he murmurs, voice low enough that it trembles through her bones. His breath brushes her ear, each word a slow drag of heat across her pulse. The forest seems to vanish. No watchers, no counsel, only this quiet violence between them. He cages her there, not with force, but with gravity. Every heartbeat is a standoff, her fear against his restraint. When she whispers, "Are you going to kill me?" he exhales, slow, heavy. Not tonight. Her chest rises, barely touching his. The air between them feels alive, humming, dangerous, inevitable. His scent surrounds her, wild cedar, iron, and storm. Her fingers twitch. She almost reaches for him. Almost. He sees it, the tremor of defiance, and his expression darkens into something that shouldn't feel tender. "Don't tempt me, healer," he breathes. "I'm running out of reasons to let you live." And then he's gone, swallowed by the dark, leaving her trembling against the tree, breathless, marked by a touch that never came. Somewhere deep in the forest, a new horn sounds, a signal not meant for her. The hunt has changed. He didn't come to win. He came to keep her alive. The council's horns call the hunters back before dawn. Bodies return, some victorious, some bleeding, some never returning at all. Aris walks among them, blood on his hands, none of it hers. When asked if he caught his prey, he gives a quiet nod. She ran west, lost her scent by the ravine. The High Warden studies him for too long, suspicion sliding across the room like smoke. But no one dares to challenge him. He's the undefeated alpha, the one no one questions. Still, as he turns away, the lie burns hotter than any wound. Her scent lingers beneath his skin. Not memory, not imagination. Something alive. In another corner of the forest, Alara hides. The healer's camp is deep underground, built into stone and moss. Omegas whisper here, bandaging those who survive. She moves like a ghost, quiet, unseen, carrying the mark of the hunted on her wrist. Every time she closes her eyes, she sees his. That night she dreams, or thinks she does. She stands in darkness so thick it hums. The air feels too warm, the silence too loud. Then, a breath behind her. Familiar, controlled, dangerous. Still running? She turns. He's there, not in armor, not as the hunter, but as something raw, unmasked. The moon glows faintly against his skin. Her lips part to speak, but no sound comes. Aris steps closer, the distance between them shrinking until the heat from him feels like a living thing. He takes her wrist, the one marked by the council's ash. His thumb brushes over it, slow, reverent, like he's rewriting it with touch alone. This mark isn't theirs anymore. Her breath trembles. "You're not real." He smiles, not cruelly, but as though the truth hurts him. "Then why do I feel you trembling?" Her heart stutters. The air thickens. She lifts a shaking hand, not brave, not sure, and lets her fingers trace the scar that cuts across his chest. But it isn't his chest anymore. It's hers. The pain flares beneath her skin, identical, synchronized, as if their bodies have learned the same language without asking. He leans in, his breath ghosting her temple, voice hushed and rough. "Dreams are safer than what I'd do if you were awake." The words melt through her like heat through ice. Her fingers linger over the place where his pulse would be. His hand covers hers, holding her there. For a heartbeat, they don't breathe, trapped between want and ruin. Then the dream shatters. Alara wakes with a gasp, her hand still pressed over her heart. The scar she never had before burns faintly beneath her palm. Outside, thunder rolls, though the sky is clear. And miles away, Aris stirs from his own restless sleep. When he looks down, the same faint scar glows across his chest. He exhales her name, quiet, reverent, defeated. Alara. The mark fades, but the warmth remains. Neither of them understands it yet, but the bond they weren't supposed to share has already begun. The forest doesn't sleep anymore. It whispers with the sound of hunters moving in silence, blades drawn, orders sealed. The council has learned the truth. Aris lied. They call it treason. They call it love. Both are punishable by death. By the time he reaches the ruins, smoke already stains the air. The healer's camp is gone, burned to earth. But something in him refuses to believe she's gone with it. He moves through the wreckage with the quiet of a predator hiding his grief. And then he hears it. A soft breath behind broken stone. Ilara. She rises from the dust, hair tangled, blood on her sleeve, eyes sharp with disbelief. You shouldn't have come. He almost laughs. And you shouldn't still be alive. Their words sound like accusations, but the air between them burns. Before either can move, a whisper of metal cuts through the wind. Assassins. The council's mark glows faintly on their throats. There's no time to hide, no time to run. Aris grabs her, pulling her into the open, voice low against her ear. Listen to me. If they see you unmarked, they'll kill you. You have to act claimed. Her body goes rigid. Claimed? He doesn't answer, just presses her back against the ruined wall as the first assassin appears. The hunters stop, eyes narrowing at the scene, her pinned against stone, his hand firm against her throat, his voice a growl shaped like ownership. She's mine, he says. The words come out too easily, too true. They don't believe him. One steps forward. Prove it. Ilara's breath stumbles. Aris lowers his head until his lips hover just above her neck, not touching but close enough to steal the tremor from her pulse. Her hands grip his chest, meaning to push him away, but instead her fingers curl. The line between act and truth blurs. His voice deepens, a dangerous murmur against her skin. Don't look at them. Look at me. Her eyes lift to his, and that's all it takes. The tremor in her breath, the way her lashes flutter, the quiet sound she doesn't mean to make, it convinces more than any display. The assassins hesitate, then bow, muttering apologies. Forgive us, Alpha. You thought wrong. Aris cuts in. Now vanish before I forget your purpose. They leave. The silence that follows isn't peace, it's aftermath. Ilara's hands are still pressed against him. His breath still shivers against her throat. You didn't have to, she begins, but he interrupts, his tone rough. You think I did that for them? She blinks. Then for who? He exhales, slow, shaky, dangerous. For the part of me that still doesn't believe I can let you go. Her throat tightens. She should walk away. Instead, she whispers, then don't. The world goes still. One heartbeat stretched too thin. His forehead lowers against hers, almost gentle. You don't understand, he says quietly. If I keep you, they'll burn everything. Then let it burn. That breaks something in him. The last thread of restraint. His hand slides to the back of her neck, his breath tangled with hers. For a moment, it's not a lie, not survival, not politics, just heat, danger, and everything they were told to fear. When they part, the assassins are gone, but their scent isn't. The council knows now. And as the ruins fade into darkness, Aris whispers the words that will haunt them both. If they come again, we run, together this time. The rain comes down like punishment, hard, cold, endless. By the time they reach the old storm shelter, both are drenched, mud clinging to skin, breath coming in short, uneven gasps. The wind howls outside, tearing at the world as if it wants them found. Inside, the air is too still, too close. Ilara presses her back to the stone wall, water dripping from her hair, eyes wide. Aris stands a few steps away, pacing, shoulders tight, hands shaking. The scent of storm and tension fills the space between them, heavy, electric. Don't, he growls, voice deep enough to rattle the floor. She doesn't move. He turns, eyes burning gold in the half-dark. Don't come closer. She's never seen him like this, raw, teeth clenched against something invisible. What's happening to you? He exhales sharply like the answer itself hurts. The hunt wasn't just a game. They bred us for this. For control. For hunger. You're not supposed to survive it. Her heart stumbles. And if I don't stay away? His jaw tightens. Then I stop being the one who decides what happens next. Lightning flashes through the cracks above, bright enough to paint him in silver. For a heartbeat, she sees everything. The restraint trembling in every muscle. The ache beneath his scars. The monster he's trying to cage for her sake. And still, she steps closer. Alara. Her name is half warning, half plea. She ignores both. Her fingers lift, barely touching his chest. The heat that meets her skin is too real, too sharp, like fire breaking through frost. He flinches, every breath a battle. Don't, he whispers again, but softer now. You're shaking, she says quietly. That's not the monster. That's you. Something breaks. Not loud, just final. He catches her wrist before she can pull away. His hand trembles against hers, but he doesn't let go. The rain outside intensifies, thunder rolling like a pulse, syncing with theirs. When his forehead drops to hers, it's not dominance, it's surrender. Do you know what you're doing? He breathes. She nods, barely. Saving what's left of you. He laughs once, low, disbelieving. Then everything blurs. The space between restraint and need collapses. His hand slides up her spine, her pulse answering his. The air around them thickens until every breath feels shared. The storm leaks through the roof in streaks of light, every flash catching the movement of their bodies. Too close, too honest. When he growls, it isn't threat. It's reverence laced with agony. Her fingers clutch his shoulders, guiding, grounding. His mouth finds her throat, not in hunger but in worship of something he can't explain. The bond ignites, not fully sealed but sparked. A heat that threads through their blood, half ritual, half mercy. Outside, the rain hammers the world clean. Inside, the storm lives inside them. He pulls back first, eyes wild, voice breaking. This can't happen again. She touches his face, steady now. Then don't make me dream of you again. He freezes. She knows. He knows. The bond isn't half anymore. It's alive. And as thunder shakes the walls, Aris finally understands the truth. The monster wasn't the danger. She was. Morning arrives like guilt, quiet, gray, cold. The storm is gone, but the air still smells of him. Alara wakes alone. The floor beside her is dry now, except for the faint mark where he knelt. She presses her fingers to it, as if the warmth might still be hiding beneath the stone. Nothing. Only silence thick enough to ache. He's gone. Outside, the world feels wrong. Birds refuse to sing. Even the wind moves differently, cautious, as though something ancient has woken again. At the edge of the clearing, she finds his cloak, torn, blood at the collar. Not from battle, from restraint that finally broke. She remembers the way his eyes burned before he left, gold flickering to black, veins rising like ink beneath his skin. He'd whispered something then, too low for her to catch. Now she understands. The whispers in camp reach her before noon. The council has sent out their decree. Aris of the North has broken the bond. The curse has risen. All who see him will burn his body before it speaks. Curse. That word follows her like a blade. In the healer's archives, hidden deep under ruined stone, she finds the truth. The council didn't make alphas to protect omegas, they made them to consume them. The bond wasn't sacred, it was control. A ritual designed to feed the alpha's body with the omega's light until she withered, and he lived stronger, longer. Aris was the firstborn of it, half alpha, half weapon, a creature of instinct chained by command, and she had awakened what centuries of obedience had kept quiet. Alara closes the book. The pages feel like betrayal. She should run, hide, survive. But her heart beats only one command: find him. By nightfall, she packs her herbs, wraps her wrists, and steps beyond the marked borders, into the dark forests where no one returns. The trees there breathe differently. They watch. Roots curl from the soil like veins. The air hums faintly with power, old, sick, hungry. Every step pulls her deeper into his world. Every scent of wet bark and iron tells her she's close. Then she hears it. Not footsteps, not breath. A growl, low, broken, familiar. She follows it until she reaches the riverbank. There, half-shadowed by mist, he kneels, bare, trembling, body slick with rain and blood. His hands dig into the earth as if he's fighting himself. The mark on his back glows faintly, an ancient seal burning through skin. Alara. Her name comes out as a growl, half plea, half warning. She steps closer. I found you. He lifts his head. His eyes are no longer gold. They're molten, fractured, something wild bleeding through. You shouldn't have. She kneels anyway, her hands hovering just above his skin. You said I made you want mercy. Let me prove you still can. He shakes his head. Mercy isn't what's left inside me. Lightning flashes far off, but the real storm is between them. His breath rough, hers steady, his curse unraveling, her resolve burning brighter. Her fingers finally touch his shoulder. The mark flares. And for the first time, the monster inside him hesitates. He looks at her, not as prey, not as salvation, just as something that makes him remember his own name. Aris. The forest reeks of iron and smoke. Branches bend from the weight of something heavy being dragged through. Alara follows the scent. Blood, rain, and him. She finds the clearing just before night dies. Aris hangs from chains hooked into the ruins of an old altar. His body is half shadow, half beast, muscles shivering against the pull of the curse. The sigils the council carved into him still bleed light. He lifts his head when he hears her. The gold in his eyes is gone, replaced by black, endless and feral. Don't come closer. The words scrape out of him like broken stone. She steps forward anyway. The ground is slick, the air metallic. The monster growls, a sound that isn't his voice but something older living inside it. Alara reaches the base of the altar. Aris. Nothing. Just that sound again, low, deep, trembling like thunder trapped inside a chest. So she climbs. When her hand touches the chain, it burns her palm, but she doesn't stop. He jerks once, teeth bared, eyes unfocused. Her voice shakes. Remember what it felt like to stop. No one has ever spoken to him that way before. Not as command, not as fear, but as if she knows him. She presses close, one hand against his jaw, forcing him to look at her. The rage behind his eyes flickers. The beast breathes through him, but her scent cuts through the madness like smoke through rain. Remember, she whispers again, softer now, lips brushing the shell of his ear. Something inside him shifts. The growl dies mid-breath. The trembling slows. Her fingers trace the edge of one chain, feeling it heat beneath her skin. The sigil beneath it fades from red to gray. He exhales, a shudder that sounds like surrender. Lightning flashes through the ruins, the same storm that once bound them both. For a heartbeat, the world glows white, and the chains snap. He falls forward, catching himself before he crushes her. Their breaths collide. The air hums between them, charged, heavy, alive. Alara's hand stays on his chest. His heart beats wild under her palm, too fast, too alive. His voice breaks against her shoulder. They made me to destroy. You make me forget how. Her reply is a whisper carried on trembling breath. Then remember me instead. The last of the chains drop. Sparks scatter in the rain. He doesn't move for a long time, forehead pressed to hers as if grounding himself on the only thing still human inside him. When he finally speaks, it's quiet, almost broken. They'll come for me again. Then let them, she says. This time they'll find you already free. The wind shifts. The ruins go still. And somewhere deep in the forest, the council feels the bond take root, stronger than their curse, older than their laws. He broke his chains, not to hunt, to protect the one person who dared to touch the monster and call him by his name. The council never expected to be hunted. They built their empire on fear, on bloodlines kneeling, on alphas obeying. But the night Aris broke his chains, that order burned to ash. Now the forest works for them. Every shadow is a weapon. Every whisper carries her name. Elara moves beside him. No longer a healer hiding in torn robes, but something new. Her eyes carry light that shouldn't exist in this darkness. When she touches the ground, the roots shift to open paths. When he growls, wolves miles away answer. Together, they hunt the men who turned mercy into a sport. The first strike happens at dawn. An outpost, 3 guards, a warden, and the man who used to command Aris's leash. By the time the sun rises, the chains are gone, the walls are dust, and the warden's insignia burns in Aris's palm like a vow. They move camp to camp, ruin to ruin, always together, always one breath apart. Between battles, the fire becomes their refuge. The flames throw gold across his scars, across her throat, across the silence between them. He sits with his head bowed, still shaking from what he's done, what he still wants to do. Elara kneels in front of him, voice low, steady. You didn't kill them for blood. He looks up, eyes unreadable. Then for what? For me. The air tightens. The fire cracks. His hand moves before thought, resting against the back of her neck, thumb brushing the spot where his mark should be. Her breath catches, but she doesn't move away. Every glance between them now feels heavier. Survival disguised as longing. Each near-death moment gives them an excuse to hold longer than needed. Each fight brings them closer to the truth. What lives between them isn't protection anymore. It's possession disguised as devotion. Later that night, when the fire burns low, she finds him watching her. Not like a soldier watches an ally, but like a starving man memorizing what saves him. Why do you look at me like that? She whispers. His voice is quiet, frayed at the edges. Because every time you breathe, something inside me forgets the war. Her pulse skips. She leans closer until the air between them trembles. And when it remembers, he exhales a sound between a growl and a confession. Then I burn everything that isn't you. The fire flares, as if listening. She doesn't back away. Neither does he. The storm outside returns, wind screaming, trees bending. But they don't move. Her fingers slide over the scar that ties them, the faint pulse beneath it sinking with her own. The night stretches, fevered and fragile. When dawn comes, smoke still curls through the forest, carrying the scent of what they've done. The council's bloodlines are breaking. And somewhere deep in the capital, a frightened voice whispers the new prophecy. The hunter who defied the bond will return to finish it. Aris and Elara walk toward that promise without looking back. The hunted have become the storm. The victory is supposed to taste like freedom. Instead, it tastes like ash. The last council stronghold lies in ruin, their banners burning over cracked stone. Yet Aris cannot breathe right. Something in him twists every time Elara nears. Her scent, once warmth, now hums with the same metallic pulse that lived inside the curse. He doesn't tell her. Not yet. He follows her into the old archive, the one place still standing. The walls drip with glyphs, all written in blood long dried. She runs her fingers over them, searching for the final piece of the spell that bound the alphas. Her hand stops. The symbol glows faintly beneath her skin. The mark. She stares at it. Confusion first, then horror. It's me, she whispers. I'm what they've been feeding on. The air between them goes silent. Aris steps closer, slow, wary, as though she's the blade and he's already cut. Elara. Don't. She backs away, shaking her head. All this time, every life you took, every bond you broke, it only made me stronger. They made me their vessel. He doesn't move, doesn't deny it. The truth is in his eyes. He's known since the moment he broke his chains. Lightning flickers through the ceiling cracks, flashing over them both. She sees it then, the faint shimmer of the curse beneath his skin, tugging toward her heartbeat. "If you end me," she says quietly, "the curse dies. The packs live." His voice breaks. "If I touch you, you die. If I don't, everyone else does." The room trembles under the weight of choice. Dust falls from the beams, the fire outside catching on the wind. Ilara crosses the space between them, the decision already made in her eyes. She takes his hands, presses them against her chest where her heart fights too hard to be brave. "Then this isn't your sin. It's mine. Do it." He can't. His fingers curl but don't close. "Look at me," she says, softer now, leaning closer until their breaths blend. "If you love me, you'll finish it." The words shatter him. He pulls her closer instead. His mouth finds hers, not gentle, not desperate, but final. Every breath they steal tastes like farewell. Every tremor in his hands says what words can't. He'd rather curse the world again than let her fall. The bond between them flares, heat and pain woven together. The mark on her skin brightens, then dims as if the curse itself can't decide who it belongs to. When he finally tears his mouth from hers, his voice is a whisper against her temple. "I'll find another way." She smiles, tearless, trembling. There isn't one. Her hand slides to the dagger at his belt, guiding it between them until the blade presses lightly against her sternum. His breath catches. "I forgive you," she murmurs, "even if you never can." He closes his eyes. The lightning dies. The world holds its breath. Then, nothing. When the light returns, she's gone from his arms. The dagger lies at his feet. The mark on his chest fades to ash, taking the curse with it. He kneels in the wreckage, bloodless, voiceless, the war finally over, except for the part still beating inside him where she used to be. Outside, the wind shifts. A faint echo moves through the trees, her voice carried in it, tender and cruel all at once. "You shouldn't have tried to save me, Alpha. You were the one thing worth losing." And the fire that burns across the ruins isn't vengeance anymore. It's grief, pretending to be survival. The night smells of smoke and betrayal. The council may be gone, but its poison lives on in the packs, whispered through fear, twisted into law. The Omega lives, they say. The cursed one who killed her Alpha and wears his power as her own. So they call for the hunt again. Only this time they hunt her. Ilara runs through the same forest that once hid her. The trees remember. The ground does too. Every root, every breath of wind bends toward her, as if trying to shield what's left of their secret. But the howls closing in are louder than mercy. Behind her, Alphas, dozens of them, and one heartbeat sharper than all the rest. Aris. He doesn't run like the others. He moves with purpose, not rage. Every step is a plea to the wind. Don't let me be too late. Through the smoke and chaos, he catches glimpses. The white of her dress, the flash of her hair, the way the firelight bends when she passes. She's not a monster. She's what's left of grace after war. But the others don't see that. They see power they can't control. The pack spreads wide, closing the trap. The horns echo again, the same cruel sound that began their story. Ilara stumbles into the clearing where it all started. Blood streaks her arm. Soot stains her skin. But her eyes are steady now. She doesn't run because she's afraid. She runs because she remembers what happens when she stops. Then, from the shadows, him. Aris steps through the smoke, every line of him carved in fury and grief. His clothes are torn, his face streaked with blood, but his eyes are gold again. Not the curse's glow, but the light that once begged for mercy. She freezes. Don't. But he's already moving, catching her wrist before she can disappear again. The forest crackles around them, the sound of pursuit closing in. "Let me go," she whispers. "Not again," he says. His voice is low, almost breaking. "Not when they'll kill you for what I did." "They'll kill you too." He laughs, bitter, breathless. "Then we burn together." The others are close now, their roars echoing, their scent heavy with bloodlust. Aris pulls her closer, his hand trembling against her throat. Not to harm, to remind himself she's real. "Look at me," he breathes. She does, and everything stops. Chaos outside, calm inside. The world narrows to the space between them, the faint tremor in his fingers, the way her pulse beats against them, the sound of fire eating through the forest. "I'll never let them have you again," he murmurs, voice cracking like the sky above them. She leans into his touch, eyes closing, a single tear lost in the ash. "Then they'll have to take us both." The first alpha breaks through the smoke, sword drawn, and freezes. Because what he sees isn't prey and predator. It's devotion turned weapon. Aris turns his head slowly, eyes gleaming. "You called for a hunt." He smiles, cold, merciless. "Now run." The fire catches their shadows as he lunges, not for her, but for the world that refused to let them be. When it's over, the forest is nothing but flame and silence. Somewhere inside that burning world, a single heartbeat remains, steady, defiant. No one knows if it's his or hers, only that the hunt ended where it began, with one whisper carried through the smoke. "Run, little mate." The fire has eaten the night. Every tree, every wall, every stone of the council's fortress glows red under the dying storm. Ash drifts through the air like snow, soft, silent, final. At the heart of it, they stand together, Aris and Alara, two heartbeats pulsing against the world's last breath. The bond between them glows faintly now, silver threads weaving through the ruin. The curse trembles, begging to be broken. Alara's voice is hoarse. "It has to end with the sun." Aris shakes his head. "You end it, you end yourself." She smiles. Tired, beautiful, certain. "Then let the dawn take me. It was never meant to have both of us." He steps closer until their foreheads touch, their breath mixing in the space that never learned to stay empty. The light outside deepens, gold bleeding into red. The first edge of dawn cuts through the smoke. He grips her hand. "If you do this." "I already did," she whispers. "The moment I ran toward you instead of away." The bond stirs, threads of light winding around their wrists, across their skin, pulling tighter. The air hums, trembling with something bigger than magic. Something alive. "Then let it find peace," she says softly. Aris swallows hard, every word cracking. "Say it again." Her hand cups his jaw, gentle even now. "Run, little mate." His breath catches, and don't look back. The light erupts, white, searing, endless. Every curse sigil burns out in that instant, the sound like glass shattering in every heart that ever bowed to the council. He feels her slipping away, not like death but like wind returning to the sky. Her lips graze his once more, a final promise disguised as touch. When the light fades, he stands alone. The mark on his chest is gone. The world is quiet. Smoke drifts over the valley. The sun climbs higher, painting gold across the ruins. He inhales, and the air still smells faintly of her. Wild herbs, rain, mercy. He kneels, pressing his hand to the earth where she stood. The ground is warm. The bond still hums beneath it, faint but steady, alive in everything she freed. Some say he never left that place, that every dawn when the horns blow to announce the next hunt, a voice rides the wind, low, tender, eternal. "Run, little mate. He's still looking for you." And in the echo, the forest breathes again. No longer a place of fear, but the cradle of a love that ended an era and began a legend.